Hey there guys, it's ChaosMaelstrom time. Welcome to the bonus episode of Chrono Trigger. Now, this shouldn't take too long since there's not a whole lot of content that I didn't already go over, but I feel like there's still a few things that are worth mentioning that I haven't already. So, without any further delaying, because I want to be completely done with this project just to get the feeling of not having something done with it out of my head, so let's go ahead and start talking about what I missed. Okay, so I didn't really miss anything in the main game. I pretty much went over everything and shown everything I could have possibly shown, aside from maybe one or two things. But the chances are those one or two things are going to get mentioned now, starting with New Game Plus. I talked about this briefly before. Basically, in order to unlock New Game Plus, you must, naturally, for any game with New Game Plus, finish the game. Now, New Game Plus is pretty much what you would expect from the term New Game Plus. You basically start the game again, except you keep all your statuses, your levels, your items and equipment, I believe. I'm not sure if that's completely true for maybe some equipments, but I'm pretty sure that's how it mostly goes. Now, in order to unlock New Game Plus, you have to get the normal ending and complete the Black Omen. However, I'm not sure if you need to complete the Black Omen all 3 times, but I did it anyways just to make sure that I would unlock New Game Plus, even though I'm probably not going to play the PS3 port of Chrono Trigger ever again. Or in this case, the PS1 port, which is on the PS3's. I'll shut up now and keep talking about this. But one of the biggest changes in New Game Plus, aside from that, is you'll be able to breeze through everything, sure enough, but you can also fight Lavos at any point in the game. Normally, you would have to wait until you get to the end of time if you want to fight Lavos. However, there is a way that you will be able to fight Lavos at any point in the game once you get New Game Plus unlocked. And defeating Lavos at certain points gets you a different ending. And with that segues into our next topic, alternate endings. Of course, I neglected to mention the most iconic ending in Chrono Trigger, where you simply lose to Lavos. To put it in a nutshell, now, depending on where you defeat Lavos normally, you will get a different ending. Now, some of these endings, if you play through it without New Game Plus, they are attainable, but only certain ones of them that you can get after reaching the end of time for the first time. And that's only if you're able to defeat Lavos, which would mean insane hours of grinding. Yeah, good luck with that. Some of these endings are really worth seeing. I remember there's one in particular, where because of the point in which you defeated Lavos, King Guardia was ill and he never got better because of something that you did that changed history. So it turns out Queen Lene actually ends up marrying Glenn, and big surprise, Marl's part frog now. There's also another ending where, I am not joking, Chrono actually talks. And then there are some that are even more downright crazy. Like if you defeat Lavos before defeating the reptiles in the prehistoric ages, you find out that humanity was now descended from reptiles, so big surprise, everybody in the world is a reptile now. But easily the most interesting of these endings is if you defeat Lavos at the earliest point possible, or you defeat Lavos when Chrono is supposed to die at the Ocean Palace. I'm not sure which one of these triggers it. It might be one or the other, or maybe both, but this will get you the Developer's Room ending. Basically, you go around the end of time and go through time portals, and you can basically talk to the developers of the game who are personified by sprites from the game. That's pretty much all I have to say about alternate endings. I'd check out some of those on your own if you're interested. But with that said, let's go ahead and talk about something big now. You might notice that the game leaves a lot of things unanswered, and it feels like it's really asking for more. Well, this game does have a sequel in the form of Chrono Cross. I know almost nothing about this game. I do know, however, that from what people say, it's very different in almost every way from Chrono Trigger, and there's not many connections at all to Chrono Trigger. But it is still a sequel and still part of the Chrono series, so if you had the chance, I would check it out, maybe watch somebody else's LP of it. There's a chance I could do it in the future. Well, then again, that's probably a minuscule chance because, as I said before, I never even played it before, nor do I have any plans to play it anytime soon. But if I end up liking it, I could do it in the future. Probably the distant future. Who knows? But if you're not looking into Chrono Cross or this version of Chrono Trigger, maybe you just don't have the time, or it's too much to sit down at a console and wait for the friggin' loading screens, well, I have the perfect solution for you. Introducing Chrono Trigger DS. It's Chrono Trigger on the Nintendo DS. Nuff said. Okay, maybe not. It basically implements all the best aspects from all the classic versions of Chrono Trigger. You have the full motion video cutscenes, but with the wait and load times of the SNES version. I'm pretty sure you have the full motion video cutscenes anyway. I could be wrong on that, but wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong about something with this game. However, there is also new content added in this game that you won't find in any other version of Chrono Trigger. I believe that there are some new side quests and different endings that you can get, but aside from that, I'm really not sure about what else there is. I would say that this is the best version of Chrono Trigger that you could get to play, so if you have the chance to buy it and you're interested in Chrono Trigger but don't feel like getting a console version, I would definitely pick it up if you have a DS that you can play it on. And believe it or not, that basically covers about everything having to do with the game. Notice how I said everything having to do with the game. Well, there's one more thing I would like to mention that's not really connected to any of the games, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, or any of that. No. But I believe it is something very worth mentioning. The Chrono Trigger OVA. That's right, there was an OVA created for Chrono Trigger. There's no actual anime or anything, but from what I know, I think the animation is still done by Akira Toriyama, which makes it definitely worth watching. But it's very hilarious, and I highly recommend that if you like Chrono Trigger, you watch it. You don't even have to know anything about Chrono Trigger to watch this OVA, because it holds no continuity to the actual game. If you did try to connect it to the game, you would be confused. I mean, very confused. Because it makes no sense if you try to compare it to the game. It's fun and worth to watch even if you're not a fan of the game. I suggest you watch it. I don't want to spoil a whole lot, but I will say one thing. There is one thing in this OVA that is better than everything else. That's right, Gato is in it. I know, I'm making Gato seem really bigger than he actually is, but seriously, the clip I just showed you isn't even the best part of Gato from the OVA. There is so much more. He actually plays a pretty significant role, and it's hysterical, so drop everything, go watch it right now. And on that note, that's the end of this bonus episode. We're finally done with Chrono Trigger for good this time. I will see you guys next time for my next project. Probably to be announced at the end of the year. So, I will see you guys next time. Laters!